Have you ever noticed how the universe seems to whisper before it shouts? How, right before your entire world shifts, there are subtle signs that something massive is coming? You probably brush them off as coincidence or overthinking. But what if I told you these aren't random occurrences at all? What if the universe has been trying to prepare you for what's about to unfold in ways you never recognized? Most people miss these signals completely. They're so caught up in their daily routines, so focused on what they think they want, that they overlook the cosmic breadcrumbs scattered right in front of them. But once you understand what to look for, once you recognize the patterns, you'll realize the universe has been orchestrating your transformation long before you ever felt ready for it. The truth is, massive change doesn't happen overnight. It builds, it prepares, it sends messengers, and these messengers show up in the most ordinary moments, disguised as feelings you can't quite name. People who appear at exactly the right time, and opportunities too perfectly timed to be mere chance. Right now, as you're listening to this, you might be standing at the edge of a cosmic shift, that restless feeling you've been carrying, that sense that something needs to change, but you can't quite put your finger on what. That's not anxiety, that's anticipation. That's your soul recognizing the old version of your life is about to make way for something new. See, the universe operates on its own timeline, not ours. While we're busy making plans and setting goals, cosmic forces quietly rearrange circumstances behind the scenes. And when those forces are about to deliver something life-changing, they don't just drop it on you without warning. They prepare you. They send signals. They create what I call the cosmic preview, a series of seemingly unrelated events that are actually perfectly orchestrated to get you ready. The first sign that everything is about to change is what I call divine discomfort. This isn't discomfort born from external stress or obvious problems. This is deeper, persistent, internal. It's the feeling that your life, while maybe perfectly fine on paper, no longer fits. Like wearing a sweater that suddenly feels too small, even though it fit last season. You start questioning what you never questioned before. The job that once lit you up now feels suffocating. The comfortable relationship now feels confining. The goals you're chasing suddenly feel hollow or irrelevant. And you panic, thinking this means something is wrong. But it doesn't. It means something is ending. Not collapsing, completing. This is your inner guidance system telling you, you've outgrown this frequency. Most people try to push through this discomfort. They convince themselves it's a phase, that they should feel grateful, that forcing interest back into place will fix it, that if they just ignore it long enough, it'll pass. But this discomfort isn't meant to be ignored. It's meant to be interpreted. It's meant to be heard, because it's the first signal that your transformation is already in motion. The second sign is synchronicity overdrive. Suddenly, you're seeing the same numbers, again and again, hearing the same messages from different places, thinking about someone you haven't spoken to in years, and they text the next day, considering a career shift, and job opportunities in that exact field start appearing everywhere, feeling the pull to a new city, and suddenly every person you meet has a connection to that place. These aren't coincidences, they're confirmations. The universe is saying, the wheels are already turning. But here's where most people misunderstand the signs. They expect guidance to look obvious. Neon arrows, loud clarity, instant knowing. But the universe doesn't guide that way. It guides through intuition, through inner nudges, through resonance, not instruction manuals. The third sign is the relationship shift. Right before transformation, your connections change. People who once felt aligned now feel distant or draining, not because of conflict, but because you are vibrating in a space they no longer occupy. Conversations that once flowed now feel forced, heavy, artificial. And while some relationships fade, others arrive. New people enter your life with magnetic timing. People who see you without needing explanation. People who hear you without needing translation. People who awaken something in you didn't even know was asleep. These aren't random arrivals either. These are soul connections, not placeholders, path openers. The universe clears your social circle the way it clears your schedule, removing what was complete to make room for what is meant to continue. The fourth sign is what I call the opportunity avalanche. This is the moment when the universe stops nudging gently and starts rearranging your life in undeniable ways. Doorways begin appearing. Not one, not two, but many. Options, invitations, disruptions, plot twists, collisions of endings and beginnings. Some look like blessings wrapped in gold foil. The job offer that appears out of nowhere. The conversation that opens a door you didn't even know existed. The idea that drops into your mind fully formed. But others look like storms. Sudden job loss. Heartbreak that hits like a system failure. Financial setbacks. A health scare that shakes your sense of permanence. Unexpected endings that make you question the architecture of your entire life. And because the human mind loves patterns, but fears uncertainty, you label these moments as destruction, as collapse, as cosmic betrayal, as if the universe suddenly woke up and chose violence against your peace. But that interpretation, while natural, is incomplete, because what looks like destruction is actually excavation. What feels like collapse is actually clearance. What seems like loss is actually load shedding. The universe isn't destroying your life. It's removing the scaffolding around the life that was never meant to be permanent. It's clearing space, breaking internal contracts you never signed consciously, but followed faithfully. It's unhooking identities that felt real simply because they were familiar. These opportunities don't arrive because you were ready. They arrive because the universe was ready for you. Sometimes cosmic timing isn't about giving. It's about taking, because your hands were already full of narratives, expectations, coping mechanisms, emotional dependencies, survival instincts disguised as personality traits. And the universe cannot deliver what you are aligned for if you are still clinging to what you have already outgrown. So it pulls, not out of punishment, but out of precision, not out of cruelty, but out of calibration, not to empty you, but to open you. The avalanche is simply the universe saying, the version of you that needed this no longer exists, so this must go. And in that going, you become spacious enough to finally receive. Then comes the fifth sign, the energy surge. And this is where the cosmic poetry becomes beautifully confusing, because the energy shift doesn't always look energetic. It doesn't always look like motivation. Sometimes it shows up as voltage, sudden inspiration buzzing under your skin. You wake up earlier without an alarm, like your circadian rhythm just signed a peace treaty with your purpose. You feel creative again, not because something external triggered you, but because something internal finally got quiet enough to speak. You crave nature, long walks, sunsets, silence, meditation, spiritual grounding. You suddenly feel pulled toward the things that calm your system, not stimulate it, toward the practices that turn your attention inward, not outward, toward spaces that don't demand anything from you, but quietly refill you. But sometimes the surge comes inverted. Sometimes you feel the need to sleep more, to withdraw more, to speak less, to scroll less, to socialize less, to disconnect from the noise of the world. Not because you are weak, but because your system is finally choosing to stop being interrupted. The universe gives you a strange paradox. Either the spark returns, or the exhaustion returns. But both are preparation. Both are signals that your energy is being reallocated, rewired, refocused. It's like your nervous system suddenly stopped paying subscriptions to every emotional platform it never truly used, so it could save its bandwidth for the one channel that matters, the one that carries your real name, your real rhythm, your real emotional syntax. You're not losing energy. You're redirecting it. You're compressing it into coherence. You're charging, not fading, because right before your frequency locks in, your system either gets louder in creativity or quieter in conservation. But both mean the same thing. The inner world is preparing to meet the outer one. Then comes the sixth sign, the time warp. And this one is subtle, psychological, metaphysical, neurological, all at once. Because transformation doesn't just change your life, it changes your perception engine. Suddenly, days feel both long and short. like time is stretching itself out, yawning like a cat in the sun, yet sprinting like it's late for a cosmic appointment. Recent events feel ancient, like they happened in a different lifetime. Old memories feel close, emotionally near, like the universe just increased their resolution for a moment. Your dreams feel prophetic. Your intuition feels eerily accurate. Past, present, and future blur like watercolor on wet paper bleeding into a single, irreversible gradient. But you're not escaping linear time. You're upgrading your awareness to understand it. You're existing in multiple realities at once. You're rendering your transformation in real time and pre-time simultaneously. It feels like distortion, but it's not. It's dimensional overlap. It's cognitive expansion. It's perception catching up to soul knowing. Because right before massive change, time doesn't behave like a straight line. It behaves like a loading screen that gives you flashes of the next level before you enter it. The universe doesn't bend time to confuse you. It bends time because you are now capable of feeling the edges of what is coming before it fully arrives. And then comes the final sign, the cosmic pause. After weeks, months, sometimes years of signs, messengers, synchronicities, emotional hints, people arriving and departing with mathematical timing, opportunities stacking themselves like dominoes begging for a gentle push. Suddenly, everything goes quiet. Silence drops like velvet curtains. A pause, a stillness, a hush so deep it makes you question your own pattern recognition software. It makes you wonder if you imagined the signs at all, if you hallucinated the cosmic breadcrumbs, if you were projecting desires onto randomness, if the static is now your permanent residence, if the universe hung up mid-conversation. But here's the revelation. The silence isn't emptiness. It's alignment finishing its last calculations. It's the inhale before delivery. It's the orchestra tuning their instruments before the first note is played. It's cosmic grammar being finalized before the sentence is spoken aloud. This is the moment when the universe gathers all its forces, balances all its equations, aligns all its circumstances, calibrates every nervous system wire, heart chamber echo, identity fragment, emotional archive, karmic contract, psychological loop, interpersonal timeline, energetic debt, spiritual blueprint, and prepares to press enter. And if you can stay present in that pause, without forcing, without panicking, without grabbing the wrong station again just to fill the silence, without running back to what once felt alive simply because the static feels too hollow, you will finally understand. The silence wasn't punishment. It was permission. The numbness wasn't failure. It was filter removal. The emotional static wasn't depression. It was frequency loading. And the music that is coming, it's not borrowed. It's not temporary. It's not external applause passing through your emotional receptors like caffeine through the bloodstream. It's your station, your signal, your rhythm, your neural signature translated into sound. The one you couldn't access before, because the old noise was too loud. The old identity was too dense. The old frequency was too convincing. The old life was too familiar to question. The old transformation contracts were too internalized to renegotiate. But now the dial is turning without resistance. Now the signal is getting stronger without interruption. Now the silence is sacred, not scary. Now the pause is purposeful, not personal. Now the universe is no longer asking you to change. It's asking you to stop resisting the change that has already begun changing you. Because your real life doesn't begin when you chase it with mental force, emotional desperation, logical pleading, or identity bargaining. It begins when you finally stop sprinting away from the silence that is preparing you for it. When you understand that transformation doesn't feel like fireworks in the middle, it feels like silence at the edge. When you accept that the universe doesn't hand you a map, it hands you a cleared nervous system capable of reading one. When you realize that your mind was never meant to control the dial, it was only ever meant to stop interfering with the tuning. So trust it, not because you understand every step, but because every step has already been understanding you. The universe doesn't need you to know how. It only needs you to know you're not done. You're not failing. You're not fading. You're not stuck. You're between stations, and that means one thing, and one thing only. The music is coming. Not the music you rehearsed, not the music you copied, not the music you envied, but the one that finally sounds like, yes, this is mine.